Good evening and welcome to the Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, June 6, 2022. Time is now 7:01. First item on the agenda, orders to be signed. We have something in our pocket for 148 Shore Road. We have meeting minutes. Are we ready to approve those? Art? Okay. Anyone else?
I'm ready to give a report on them, but
Okay.
not necessarily.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, everybody's got a packet. Yep, on them. The first one on August 2nd. We had reviewed this one prior, a couple times prior to this, and the Shore Road discussion was too brief. We spent over an hour, but it's been filled out pretty well now and pretty accurate.
Okay.
But Mark and Eric were both absent at this meeting, and they added Eric as absent, but not Mark.
Okay.
So if they want to, I don't know if Steve's listening in.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, Steve, if you want to get Mark's name added to the April 2nd roll call as being absent, I'm good with it now.
Okay. You got it.
Thank you. Next one we have,
So should we vote on that?
yeah, did you want to vote on it before the
Yeah.
change?
Yep, we can, as amended.
As amended?
Yep.
Okay, well, I move to approve the minutes of August 2nd as amended by adding the name of Mark Munson to the absent list.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
seconded by Eric. All is in favor? Roll call.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Munson, yeah.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mongemi.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you.
Okay, make a note of that, August 2nd. On August 16th, the times are missing throughout almost the whole document. They get stuck in once in a while, but the times are missing everywhere. There's just a date, the time stamp
From the videos?
from the video, from the audio, yeah,
Wait, August 16th, the timestamps are missing?
yeah.
I don't think that was one of the meetings where the video was strewn up, do you?
No, because I'm just,
I'm
the
looking
copy I'm
at it.
looking at has timestamps.
all the time,
All the
yeah.
way through it.
But
Yeah.
no times.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, mine doesn't.
You mean, do you want them to be the time? It's the time in the video. It's the time of the meeting.
Right, the times, the actual times, like we put on every other meeting.
So instead of 26:03, you want to see 7:26:03.
No, it wasn't 26:03. Give me a second, now I'll get it.
It would be
They don't-
7:35 because
they
the
don't
meeting
match
started
up.
at 7:11,
Okay, fair.
I'm guessing.
They don't match up is what it is.
I'm just assuming these are timestamps in the video.
That was Shore Road, lot 299.
I can see what you're saying. The commission used to say the time, but I think what that person did, like you said, Katie, is they took how many minutes into the start of the
Yes.
meeting?
Yes.
Right, yes, we're looking at
So like the new business one says 34:38, then it says 7:45, which does align with,
Right, that one does.
yep,
But that's one of the few. If you go to the next page, like number 3,
yep.
it says 26:48 for the timestamp. That's actually 7:33 in the evening.
Okay, so let's have Steve just either omit some of the times or change them to actual time.
Actual time. That's what
Actual
we
time?
have every other, on all the other minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
You good with that, Steve?
I am.
Okay, I got the actual times if they need them.
Now, if you want to send me that, then I'll make those changes as needed. And
Okay, we can move for a vote. I'll entertain a motion as amended for August 16th.
So moved with the addition of times.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
Second by Eric, all those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Montminy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you.
On 9/13, the times are missing again.
Same issue.
Same issue. But I had a question also.
9:18. Wait a minute.
9/13.
Oh, okay.
On 34 Grove Street. Mm-hmm. 34 Grove Street. Dale Bagma, is that the correct name?
Bangma.
Bagma.
Gangma.
And
Yeah.
is he the developer or the engineer?
He's not.
He's
Oh,
not.
and
He's
the
not an
owner.
engineer.
Right, he's not
He's
an
the-
engineer.
Yeah,
I didn't think either one of those was correct, so
I believe he's the owner,
I think so too.
owner
That
contractor.
would make sense.
So I think that line needs to be
Definitely.
corrected and the
Yeah.
times need to be added.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve as amended for September 13th. Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Montminy, aye.
Mike?
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you.
March 21st, I was absent, so I didn't touch that one.
All right.
Katie Grace was absent as well.
Oh, was I?
Mike, did you have a chance to look at those? Okay, so let's review those for the next meeting. So we'll table March 21st, 2022, and then April 4th.
April 4th. I had a question on 48 Glen, which starts at the bottom of page 1 and continues on to page 2. We requested, Steve, that you find out what the bond amount that was being held. Did you ever get that information?
Oh, I know I got a list of them all, I probably just forgot
I
to
don't-
report it back.
Yeah, I don't think, that was a moot point anyway. I think that they withdrew their request anyway
Did they?
at this moment. I don't know if you're just curious or that's.
I do have, yeah, I have it easily.
Not gonna open it now.
Okay, no problem. I didn't know if it just got dropped by mistake or, and also, the
Mike, you don't follow.
the Sleepy Hollow discussion number 7, my notes indicate that that was continued to 4/25, but it's not on there.
Okay,
Mine says 7:54.
No, I'm talking about a date. We continued it to
Oh.
April 25th.
Excuse me.
Was it a public hearing? Or just a discussion?
Sleeping Hollow lots? It was
I
a
think it was just a
discussion.
discussion, so it really
You are
can't be
correct.
continued.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Well-
We did continue it to the next.
For discussion,
Yeah.
I would say, under discussion, maybe. And then under number 10, there's requiring dame instead of dam.
Yeah, a couple of typos throughout,
Okay.
but that was it on that one.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Montminy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. So we'll review the members present will be reviewed,
March 21st.
yes, the March 21st.
and the April 25th, actually, I got those late last week, but I didn't, the draft was already,
26th?
agenda was already submitted, so I'll send those off next week to you too.
Okay, thank you. Okay, request for certificate of compliance, 121 Webster Street. I don't believe this is ready yet. Is someone here on behalf of that item? Oh, Steve has reported that we're gonna hold on that one if they're not ready.
Yeah.
Not
Yes,
stabilized.
they're waiting on the as-built.
Okay. 55 Lakeshore Drive, changes to approved plan continued from May 16th, 2022. This was the modification with the additional pipe, and I believe we have revised plan
We do.
with the
This
requested
is yours.
information on it.
So I have another one.
I think Jack is here in the audience too.
Oh, great.
Oh. Do you want to come forward, just give us a summary of, to refresh us?
To address the mitigation of
Yes.
the change from asphalt, we're proposing 3 20-foot sections of planted depressions along the way of the drive. And there's a detail showing how that would be constructed.
Okay. And then the pipe was the request, and then the actual reduction in the impervious, right?
Yes.
So, board, anybody have any other questions on this? And what was your name and address for the record?
My name is Jack Goodison, and I'm the owner,
Okay,
55 Lakeshore.
okay, and the pipe's already in, and when do you expect the basins to be constructed?
We'd like to move forward with it right now. The
Okay.
contractor's on site.
Okay. All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to consider the proposed changes as a minor modification to the approved plan.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor? Roll call.
Eric Harris, aye.
Yeah.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, good luck, and please keep Steve notified
Yes.
on the progress.
All right, thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you. Okay, new business, 7 PM, notice of intent, public hearing, 80 Locust Street, John and Kathleen Newberry, septic repair. Just read.
Where's that one?
Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Legal notice for a public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on June 6, 2022 at 7 PM for a notice of intent filed by John and Kathleen Newberry located at 80 Locust Street for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. Proposed work involves repair of an existing septic system. Proposed construction activities are within the 100-foot buffer zone of bordering vegetated wetlands. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass., or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16th, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. Website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the NOI may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission, 508-476-4000, extension 205. And we do have a DEP number that came in with no comments from DEP, correct?
Yep.
Okay, name and address.
Okay. For the record, Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm here representing John and Kathleen Newberry at 80 Locust Street for a typical septic repair. Just to get your bearings, Locust Street meets Southeast Main Street. Right here is just a couple lots towards the end. So basically, there's an existing house here. I have wetlands in the front. I have wetlands in the back. Here's the 100-foot buffer zone from each set of wetlands. I pretty much have the proposed septic system kind of right there at the both 100-foot buffer zone areas. And due to groundwater and the existing plumbing, it is a pump system, septic tank, pump chamber, and a slightly raised system.
What are you proposing for erosion controls?
I've just got the typical straw wattles. I have it here and here.
Any stockpiling on site?
Probably will be, so yeah, I should have put that circle in there. I missed it.
Okay, can you draw it on?
Sure I can.
Okay.
I believe.
How should-
Yeah, grab a pen, draw it on.
So I'll just put it, actually, I don't want to put it in the trees, so I'll put it right here at the,
Where that, the corner,
actually, probably better off here.
are no trees to be removed?
No, here's the tree
There's a
line.
bush.
Okay, tree line, there is a bush over here, but no trees, so.
Okay.
That's a
I'll just put the
6-inch tree.
stockpile here, okay?
No, okay, sorry.
I hope they're not going over there. So there's no proposed grading, correct?
No, it's pretty much an in-ground system. I do have spot grades right over the system, but it's a Presby, 2 feet to groundwater. But because the sewer pipe comes out underneath the slab, I still had to use a pump.
Okay. Okay.
Where's the existing system?
Pretty much right here in the backyard. Here's the old tank, so probably some type of a leach field or cesspool back here. It's over 25 years
I
old.
was gonna say, is it an older house?
The system's, old, so,
There's a video of it. I'll
Oh.
show you.
And then we have machinery can be parked in the existing paved driveway area if it has to stay overnight? Or within, I mean, we typically,
Outside the 100, which
yeah,
there's,
there is no.
right, so the driveway would be the next preferable.
Or there's a little spot on the, left of the house.
Only thing is, you go in there with an excavator, you don't want that driving back and forth over the driveway.
Okay,
So you tell us where they're
How about
supposed to
right- How
go.
about right here, okay? That's still, but I've got erosion control there.
Okay, I see it in the corner, the top,
Right.
top left. Okay,
this, okay. To the left of the bush.
yes.
Okay.
To the- Yes, exactly. Yeah, keep it within the erosion controls. So I think that would be a condition, any heavy machinery and stockpiling, as noted on the revised plan. Pretty well established, and there's no grading, so.
It's lovely.
This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this agenda item for 80 Locust Street?
Did you say we had a DEP number?
1047.
1047?
Yep, no comments. Steve, do you have a comment?
No, but it's just, when the agenda gets posted by the town clerk, sometimes the DP number doesn't come until after, so that's why it's hard to change it.
No problem. Okay,
No comments, no.
okay, thank you.
So when the material is excavated to build the system, where does that material go?
A lot of it will be hauled off-site, especially because it's not a raised system. So what they take out of there, obviously, they're filling back with gravel.
Right.
Title V sand, so that material's got to be removed off-site. Especially if you run into the, well, you probably won't run into the old leach field over there. A lot of times, sometimes if it was a raised system, you'd use it as the
Right.
part of the breakout, but he's not
Yeah.
going to need it.
No, I mean, the statement was said that there was no grading, so I'm just
Oh,
figured that meant that it all had to come out, to be taken out, so.
correct.
All right.
There will be no equipment parked on site?
Let's put it next to that bush.
So I'm going to give a revised plan.
Yeah, but it's not shown on the plan, but we, yeah.
We can do it with conditions.
Yeah, so you're going to
Approval.
condition it based on a revised plan that's going to show where the equipment's parked and the stockpile area. Okay.
Board, any other questions?
1047.
Hearing none. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Eric. All those in favor? Roll call.
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Deadly, aye.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions with the conditions of the stockpiling site and the machinery.
Parked in the driveway?
No, it can be parked in that area inside the erosion control barrier closer to the system that'll be shown on a revised plan. So moved.
Agree with those conditions, Art, on your motion? Okay. Motion made by Art,
Yes.
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Martin, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
Katie Dudley, aye.
Thank you very much. Good
Okay,
luck.
thank you.
Please let Steve know when you start.
Yep, will do.
Next item, old business, 7 PM, public hearing continue, notice of intent, 105 and 123 Gilboa Street, CRG Services Management LLC. Welcome, name and address, please.
Good evening, Todd Morey, Beals Associates, 2 Park Plaza, Boston, Mass. Here representing CRG. Also with me tonight is Bob Manerick from the town of Douglas. I think we are pretty much wrapped up. The only update I have to give is that on May 26th, Planning Board closed the hearing and issued site plan review permit for the site. And that's the only updates. A couple weeks ago, we saw the draft order of conditions that Steve had issued. It came to both myself as well as Matt Byrne, the peer reviewer. I went through, I had some fairly minor comments. I believe that Matt agreed with pretty much what I had to say. He had some suggestions on just kind of reshuffling to categorize some of the conditions, to have it flow a little bit better during pre-construction, construction, post-construction, that kind of thing. Agreed with all of his comments, so I think we're in pretty good shape as far as we're concerned.
Okay, thank you. Board, do you have any questions? I think we've had plenty of opportunities to ask questions. Double check, triple check. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this public hearing? Seeing no hands up, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Eric. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Martin, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion to issue the order.
So moved.
Motion made by Mike,
Second.
seconded by Art. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Martin, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Are there conditions?
With the conditions that have been drafted by the applicant and our peer reviewer, yeah.
There were
Yeah, the-
60 or 70 conditions.
Oh, it should be 70. I
70,
think.
there were 70 conditions.
Yeah, they're in there, administratively, we just have to clean them up a little bit, but they're in the package too. I think talking to BSC, one of the associates might be here, there's just one outstanding question about peer review, and I think we can add that to commission, into the conditions that the commission may or may not hire a peer review, or if you want to settle that now, that they'll have, like they did with the distribution center in the Tri-Town, that they'll hire someone to go out there and look at the crossings and give oversight. That's the one.
I think we'll just go with may or may not.
Okay. And I'll add that to the conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Everything else is good to go.
No vote,
Okay, you're abstaining?
abstaining, whatever,
Okay.
yeah.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Okay, 7 PM, public hearing continued, notice of intent 0 Mumford Road and 5 Forest Street definitive subdivision plan, Sutton Douglas Development LLC. Name and address?
Good evening, Madam Chair.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Wayne Bellick, Land Design Collaborative. I'm here with Penn Flynn, in Design Build, Bruce Consultant.
Flynn Build and Develop.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yes.
At least.
It's the
you got his
medication I
name- At
got.
least you got his name right.
Well, I just took a migraine pill, so.
Oh, great.
So, again, Wayne Bellick, Land Design Collaborative. So tonight, I think we're looking to, look to schedule a site walk. We did submit the revised plans in the stormwater report, so the Conservation Commission and Planning Board have that. I spoke with Graves Engineering today. They are going to be performing their final review this week. They see no issues. We've responded favorably to everything
Okay.
they were looking for.
Yeah.
Next Monday, we're going before the Sutton Planning Board, where they are going to look to close the public hearing. So we're kind of getting to that point. So, like I said, we're at the point now with respect to the commission of scheduling the site walk and
Okay.
discussing the order of conditions, and we might possibly get at least a boilerplate or a draft of that, so that we
Yeah.
can get it going.
I mean, the boilerplate pretty much is every
The
single
state.
one that we've issued
Yeah.
past year, so.
Okay.
And the peer review isn't done yet, right?
The follow-up will be done by the end of this week.
Okay, and then you'll have a last revised plan set?
So the revised
Maybe?
plans, yeah, so the
Okay.
revised plans that you folks currently have.
Yeah.
There are not going to be any more changes.
Oh, okay, okay,
So they're just, we're going to get the clean bill of health later this week.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so Tracy, I just want to comment on the order of conditions a little bit, that as soon as we get the final, I can certainly give the cover sheet to Wayne if there's a lot of public hearings and final plan dates, which I think we received today, and then wait for peer review, final approval. Typically, that's all set before we send out the draft orders. Typically, the draft orders go out after the public hearing closes, but we certainly can send a draft copy when all that information is settled.
Okay. All right. Board, when are we doing our site walk?
Well, when will the wetlands be flagged?
So the wetlands have been flagged. They were flagged when you folks looked at when we did the NRAD with you folks. What we found out there, and I forgot my man purse is at home, but in my man purse, what I had was a number of flags which were torn down and thrown about. It resembles Vietnam right now in there, as you folks know, as we saw a couple of weeks ago. So we had gone in there. The test pits have been labeled. Our guy has gone in. He's our navigator. He's available this Saturday morning to take us through. He's got his GPS, which works like a charm. So we'd like to use that and get around. So those flags are there. He had gone out. Anything that had been torn off, he's reflagged. There were some remnants that were there on the trees, so they didn't do a great job in tearing them off.
Okay, board, does Saturday morning work for everyone that's interested in going?
What time?
Preferably 9-ish, if that works for you guys. I know that we're supposed to get some rain during the day. I'm not sure when that's coming in. So I'm thinking the earlier the better, perhaps.
Okay, anybody?
I'm free throughout the morning.
I have water sampling that I'm doing.
I also have
What
that.
time?
The earliest we're allowed to drop off is 8.
Okay.
So I think we should set it for 9. Art, does that work for you?
I'm trying to think of my calendar. I think it does.
Mike? Good? Mark?
All right.
Good? Okay,
Do you want to give a rain date? Maybe Sunday?
Sunday doesn't work. The navigator is out golfing on Sunday. He's already got a tee time set up.
Good for him.
Yeah, knew you'd appreciate that, Mark.
What's that, the 11th we're talking about?
Yeah, 11th is Saturday.
I'll make everything.
It's either.
okay, consensus, so 9 AM. Steve, you're available that time?
Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
I'm just saying, if it rains, we can still go out. But
Yeah.
you said later in the day.
if you want to have an alternative date while we're here, because the next meeting's in 3 weeks. Because it's difficult,
Yes,
difficult to schedule a meeting through emails.
yes.
Yeah, the next weekend is Father's Day weekend,
right.
so I'm going to.
I don't know, personally, the rain sounds safer than last time.
58 to 68 that day, on Saturday. So I think we just hold 9 AM Saturday. Rain or shine.
Sounds good. And just one follow-up question. I know it's the the policy of this commission, just based on what I've heard here about the order of conditions. Given that everything's coming together, there's been a lot of time lapse for this project, is there any possibility that we could have the draft in advance of the board's action on
The order's
filing?
drafted?
Yeah.
I mean, the conditions are generic. So if we took CRG and we just changed the 2 pages, or the 5 pages in the beginning,
To make it
or
right.
17 to be applicable to yours, but I think what you're really interested in is the conditions and the special conditions.
That's correct.
So I think that's very easy for Steve to just send over
That'd
what
be
our
great.
peer reviewer just
Yeah,
drafted
and
for
I think
CRG.
Wayne- And there was a little confusion, I think, maybe on Wayne's part with some emails, because we have the exact same the project that was just approved. Our peer consultant, the conditions we have are a compilation of the conditions that kind of been added over 20 years, and they're kind of redundant. They don't flow. Some start with pre-construction, post-construction. There wasn't a format in them. So they took all those conditions and they formatted it so it's easier to read, easier to use. It's not confusing. And so I stated in an email that I didn't want to reinvent the wheel twice. So that formatted template has been done. It's going to make the process a little easier, since we don't even have a peer review yet of this for plans, final plan approvals. It's kind of hard to give a draft order.
Okay.
I certainly can give something out by the end of this week if the plan date you don't think is going to change, if the peer review information comes back, and the conditions are pretty much boilerplate brand that you've seen probably for 25 years.
So through
But I
the chair.
certainly can get those out for you. There's nothing arduous, I don't think, in them.
That'd be great. Through the chair, plans are not, they're not changing. They're there.
You refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once CRG's language is fine-tuned,
Okay.
we'll just send you over what we're using for those, our standard conditions and then the special conditions, and you can start reading through those
Okay.
60, 70. Obviously, there's going to be some striking through that, but that'll get you going. The standard conditions are probably not going to change at all. It would be some special
Understood.
conditions.
And so would it be,
And Wayne, just so, they come from the MACC handbook standard template, so it's something that wasn't just kind of arbitrarily just came up with over the years. They're pretty standard conditions that most commissioners use.
yep. So as a former commissioner, Steve, I'm fully aware of that, and I've written a number of orders throughout my career, so
Okay.
appreciate it.
So we'll get that over to you as soon as we have the draft.
Okay, and Madam Chair, the next commission meeting would be on the
June 27th.
June 27th. So at that point, where we'd like to be is in a position where the commission can act on the project and issue the order. So that's kind
We
of
would
where
like to be
are.
there, too.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Just hold on a second. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this hearing? Miss, name and address, please.
Sorry, Lynn Roszak, 50 Conservation Drive. I was just wondering if, and I heard that they're going to do the walkthrough again on Saturday, which is good. Good luck to everyone. Wear high boots because of the prickers. I was wondering if you folks had a chance to review the documents that, I had presented to the committee. I know, Matt was going to do some, research on it, and he wasn't able to find out too much, but we just wondered, where that stood at this point, so I can report back to the group.
Which documents, sorry, did they get submitted to this board?
I submitted them to here.
Yeah.
Conservation?
Via Steve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe that I gave everybody a copy a few meetings ago.
Yep.
And there might be, and there might be I can certainly send that to everybody again, and I think there was an email, I got a copy of an email from Leah that's in everyone's package right now.
But it was this section of land, there was a discussion on how this piece or part of this piece, and it wasn't clear to me because it uses the legal language, it uses the markers rather than showing it visually, was supposed to be put into conservation land.
So specifically on the project, what is the request from the neighborhood that was previously submitted?
Well, that we wanted some research done, and again, you know, the developers had no knowledge of this from, you know, 22 years ago. But we wanted to try to trace back how this happened. So,
The files are available for review in the Community Development Department, right, Steve?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I've given all that to the, you know, to Matt and the planning board, and then to whatever files we have.
Okay.
But I mean, there's at some stage of the development, or at least from what I read, there's some stage of the development where like this was going to be set aside for conservation land, and then that didn't happen, and now we're looking at a development design.
Yes, but I think if it could have happened, it would have already happened.
Right, it didn't happen is what I'm
right.
getting at, and I
So-
think that that's the missing piece that they're like,
yeah, we're
what's
just
where,
looking for that missing link.
what transpired, or nothing? Was it just that literally
if
nobody actually
I
went
could-
ahead and downloaded?
If I could hypothesize, it would be that they got to build all the houses before they did the donation to the town, and it was accepted at town meeting to
Okay.
accept the donation. That's what happened. All the buildings were released, everybody got occupancy permits,
And then they never put in through the donation?
Yeah, they
Well,
never,
given- Pardon me, but given
Yeah.
that the builders went bankrupt, and again, to Lot 22 that's coming up for discussion tonight, which was twice had gone to court, and, you know, due to the habitats and endangered species that they found, as I said to Mass Wildlife, they certainly, just like the chicken across the road, we aren't ever going to have an answer to that probably, but turtles and salamanders certainly, I'm sure, have crossed, and that's why we had asked, you know, to have a walkthrough in early spring, so that they could see the vernal pools and the, you know, if the habitats had changed, because obviously mapping of 22 years ago, you know, a lot has changed. I know I'm a lot older.
yeah, Natural Heritage is very much aware of the next Lot 22 conservation.
Yeah.
But as far as, I mean, this specific project, this agenda item has been vetted. It was a dropped ball by someone that was
And
not
we would just like,
watching
you
it
know,
bounce.
to find out, how do we or you folks go about finding out what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. There was no, they
No
weren't
offense,
forced,
but you weren't here.
they weren't forced to donate the land. They got away with everything that they could get away with. They made the money, and then they went bankrupt, and there was nothing in place for a
To ensure that
mechanism.
they would actually donate, yeah.
You need collateral. And if you don't have to do something, you don't do it. And in 22 years, it should have, if it could have been done, it would have been done.
Well, the bankruptcy did, of course, happen, as we're all painfully aware of, spending thousands of dollars to get occupancy permits, you know?
Oh, I remember the condition of the roadway. I've been on here for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
So in 22 years, yeah, I wasn't there 22 years ago.
Yeah.
But I was there. So,
Well, I suspect that, I mean, it was human error, which I can, you know, I can understand. But someone dropped the ball. and
the
we
lots were
just-
released from planning board without the donation being completed, without the paperwork being completed.
But the paperwork, it, again, somebody didn't follow through. So we're just trying to ascertain who that was. I mean, not to cause any ruckus here, but this has a huge impact, and the reason 100% of the people on the left side purchased their homes there.
Well, I will say it's not going to happen like that this time. So the land that is being donated will be donated, and that will be followed through.
Trust me,
So-
I'll be here. As long as I'm still here, I'll be
Right,
here to see
right.
that that doesn't happen. I think the very first time I presented to, you know, Conservation and Planning Board was, you know, because of that situation and because of the road, you know, and this benefits everyone in this project. That, you know, again, you know, it's a well-worn out phrase, somebody dropped the ball, but I don't want to just let it go. I
would-
really want to know, and to get
Yeah.
occupancy permits,
I would say,
that was
yeah,
not a condition.
right.
Before, yeah,
So I would suggest reviewing all of the public records and any emails that were sent back and forth, but I don't think there's any recourse at this point. If that's what you're trying to, if you're just trying to find whose fault it was, I'm not sure if that's going to help
Again,
anything.
So that this doesn't happen again, and the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted, you know? Again, another well-worn expression, but, you know, the taxpayers, namely us in this particular situation, we don't deserve to have somebody just say, you know, what's done is done. We would like an answer. We're not going crazy as a result of whatever that answer is, but we would just like basically to have some closure, close the loop. So, all
Yeah.
right, so you would suggest that,
Set up a time to review all the files that are available for planning board and for conservation. I more so think it was an issue with planning, with the definitive subdivision
Yeah.
regulation
Yeah.
and that decision, and
Well,
the
and the time.
mechanism for approval of those building lots.
yeah, and the timing of the whole thing and the bankruptcy, you know, really muddied the waters. Another expression.
Full of expressions
All
tonight.
right, thank you so much.
Thank you, good luck.
Thanks.
Anyone else in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this?
I have a quick question, Tracy.
Sure.
You mentioned donating land. Is that something that's going through the planning board?
Yes.
All right, so the commission doesn't have to have any condition or anything. I mean, that hasn't been discussed, I don't think, but is that something, so the planning board is going to condition
It's been
that?
discussed with the planning board.
Yeah, yes,
It's well-defined in the plan.
yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
I had one question, because you made the and I'm just gonna, you made the statement, the plan isn't gonna change. But what you mean is this, the roadways and the markings, because you have house lots in here.
Oh, yeah.
We still have to walk through all
Oh,
of those
absolutely.
separately.
None of
Okay.
none
Because
of
these are all like little notional houses, little notional driveways. We're still, okay.
Yes.
Nope, that's great. You said it's not going to change, and I was like, oh, wow, I need a lot more time to look at
The plan's part of this, is part of this filing.
this filing. Is not, okay?
correct.
Nope, understood. I appreciate the notional houses on the plan, but I just wanted to make sure we were clear that, like, what you're looking for approval for is these roadway pieces,
the
and we'll
roads and
still
the
have to go do the lots at another time.
And
Okay.
that would, the purpose of the order will be stated
Yep.
on the, yeah.
No, I just wanted to make that clear. Like I said, I appreciate the notional houses, but I want to make sure we're not approving, 20-something house lots today.
Sure.
Or
And
next
as
time
part-
we meet.
And through the chair, part of the reason we did that was pretty much informational, and so that when somebody looks at the plan, they look at the stormwater, they say, okay, this is what they were thinking. So they're
Yeah.
looking at this much lawn, this much.
No, that-
That's basically.
That absolutely helps, especially when you're looking at something like Lot 22 and you see that, oh, it's over here, right? It's not right in the middle of the wetlands. No, that's very helpful. I appreciate the addition.
Thank
but-
you.
One other point, Wayne, would be helpful is, project where there's a lot of information back and forth. If you have a list, your document list of the plan, the final plan dates, I'm certainly, and then I just correlate that, cross-reference with mine, the peer review.
Sure.
Other dates, just so I'm not missing anything.
Okay?
All right, I'll entertain a motion to continue this public hearing to June 27th at 7 PM. Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Yeah.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mongemi.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, I'll see ya.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
See you on Saturday.
Well, thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Beat up on this next group back here.
So the next agenda item is requesting a continuance, public hearing, continued notice of intent, 22 Conservation Drive, new dwelling. I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing to June 27th, 2022 at 7 PM. Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Mopin, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mongemi.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you. Next item, ANRAD, public hearing continued, abbreviated notice of resource delineation, 100 Davis Street, Peter Michael Business Park. Name and address along with an update on the peer review and any changes that were made in the field pretty much a summary of any edits or changes.
I'll just introduce Thomas McIntyre, the applicant. McIntyre engineer came in.
Okay.
Good evening, all. My name is Michael Dryden. I'm a senior project manager with Allen Engineering. And I was going to do just that, just sort of walk through the history here. This hearing is continued from May 16th, at which time we gave you a brief overview of the ANRAD plans. And a site walk was held between our Allen at Ecotech and Sage Environmental, our environmental consultant, on May 26th. Our Allen issued email comments on May 27th. There were essentially 4 comments, and we responded to those comments in writing, as well as revised plans. That was all issued on June 2nd. And then we just received today a follow-up letter from our Allen at Ecotech that we have adequately addressed all of the comments. We also just received a DEP file number today. There are comments there as well. I had to call them and essentially beg them to issue the file number. That's the way things work these days with DEP. They did have some comments that were essentially redundant with ours. The biggest, would you like me to just walk through the comments?
Yes.
Okay. First comment was to clarify the extents of the ANRAD. As I tried to make it clear last time, it's very difficult to see on this map, and I apologize, but there's an intermittent stream here, and then there's Dunleavy Brook. They converge right about here. So all of the resource areas from this point to the east are excluded, and we put notes all over the plans to that effect, even more so on the revised plans. The only other area that's excluded that we described in detail is this dogleg right here. There's a gas transmission line right here. This is map 168, lot 30, this long linear lot. Just this portion is included, this portion is not included. And again, we put notations on the plans, very detailed to make it clear which areas were excluded. The second comment was stream determination. We initially had a segment of the southerly tributary to Dunleavy Brook assumed as perennial, and we ran stream stats as a result of Art's comment, and we agree with him that that section should not be perennial. So the plans have been revised to show just the Dunleavy Brook. So there's a small section of intermittent or perennial previous, which is now intermittent.
Can you explain how that process occurred again?
So Art had commented that he didn't believe that that section of the stream was perennial. We ran detailed stream stats, and Sage Environmental also issued a memo that you should have in your packet that analyzed that section of the stream. If you look at USGS, which is typically the most telling, clearly there's light blue lines for 2 intermittent streams, which turn into a dark blue line, which is essentially Dunleavy Brook. So only that dark blue line that appears on the USGS map is considered perennial. And again, that was verified with the running of stream stats, which is a program that analyzes the drainage area that's tributary to those streams.
I thought
So
that
you're-
to determine if it was perennial or not, that there had to be a certain amount of time that it was observed and...
That's only in a drought condition. If you're in a, so in the absence of a drought, essentially, so that's essentially it in a nutshell. Perennials run, obviously, all year, and I think what you may be referring to is if a perennial stream runs dry, you have to prove that it's within a period of drought. Or if it falls, I think you know what I'm saying.
Consecutive days.
Yeah.
It's 5, I think it's 5 consecutive days.
That's sort of a separate
So this
issue.
was not shown on USGS as being a perennial stream?
Correct.
Yeah,
That's correct.
it's not. I saw that same thing, Mark, so I looked at the USGS map, and it's mapped as intermittent, and then it flows into Dunleavy Brook. So the regulations stipulate stream stats can't make a perennial stream intermittent, but they can make an intermittent stream perennial. And so if it was perennial on the USGS map, then it's perennial, unless you see it dried up during a non-drought area, and then that's the mechanism for making it intermittent. But this shows intermittent, and so you can make it perennial if stream stats with the square footage of the drainage area comes through. I forget what the calculation is. Maybe
1 per acre.
1 inch of flow over a certain period.
So above the red dot to the west is there's a blue line there. So is that perennial or is that intermittent? I see
It's a
here
light blue line.
intermittent.
Yeah, so the light blue line represents intermittent, the dark blue line represents perennial.
Is that correct, Steve? Is that how that's read?
He has that version of it.
Here's a big one. Here we are. So you got this one here where the swamp is.
Right, so coming out of the swamp, it's a blue line. And he's saying that that is intermittent, not perennial.
No, he's saying that should be perennial.
No,
No,
he's saying
no,
it's intermittent.
Everything's intermittent, that's light blue. And then where the two streams converge, Steve, that's where it becomes perennial. See the dark blue versus the two
Yeah,
light blue?
that's the same as this. This is the
Yeah.
same map.
Yeah, it's the same exact map.
So right here. They don't, this map doesn't show this leg, I don't think, right, Mike?
Nope, it doesn't show the,
This leg, so this,
well, there's a tributary here
right.
coming up into this wetland and one going to that.
So that's
wetland
what
there.
these two are, right, Mike?
Correct. There's two tributaries, one from the west, one from the south.
I think this, Mike, come here. So this red dot is right, that red dot represents right where the.
Right above Brook.
Exactly, right where they converge. Because that's what provides ample flow for that section of the stream to become perennial and flow perennially.
So how's that compare with like another brook in the town? I mean, here we're showing a brook.
How old is that map?
I'll show you. Perennial, light, dark is perennial,
82.
light is intermittent.
1982?
Intermediate, okay.
So it's where the entire Wetlands Protection Act on how you determine perennial and intermittent is based on this one map. And then it's stream
And
stat.
yeah, where it may be disputed, you run stream stats to determine the tribute,
So they-
the drainage area.
So the question where is, well, I think, where
So did you do stream stats on the western tributary?
Yes, yes. Both our office and your peer review consultant reached the same exact conclusion.
and I had the comments and asked you guys to run that
Yep.
to make sure.
You did. And there was some confusion, which you also noted, because one of the sections was labeled intermittent, but yet it had a 200-foot buffer zone. So we clarified that on the plans as well.
Thank you.
Should I move on? Okay.
Yes.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you.
There are two isolated wetlands on the site, and as outlined in our initial report, those isolated areas did have both physical and biological vernal pool characteristics, so we've documented that. There was a little bit of confusion as to whether or not a 100-foot buffer zone applied to those isolated areas. We know now that it does, because your bylaw says any wetland. So we have added the 100-foot buffer zone to those two isolated wetlands. We also, per DEP and Art Allen's comments, ran calculations for ILSF, isolated land subject to flooding. Neither of the two areas has enough, cannot confine essentially quarter-acre foot average depth of a minimum of 6 inches. And we submitted those calculations as well. The final comment, there were 3 areas of BVW. One was just a simple flag mislabeled. There were 2 14s in the field. And there were 2 small areas added bordering a stream. I think there were a total of 7 flags, very minor modifications. We've adjusted the plans accordingly. And again, Art Allen, with his follow-up memo today, acknowledged that we have satisfied those comments.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments regarding this hearing agenda? Seeing none. Board, any other final comments? I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Longley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, no.
You don't want to close the public hearing? Do you have
No.
additional information that?
I do not. I have not had a chance to review anything. so I don't want to.
We're closing, okay. That would mean that we don't accept any additional information after the close. So there's a May 2nd comment letter,
Response, right, with revised.
the
plan.
response, and then Arts was June 6th, so today.
So
which
we
was
don't have the
just a-
opportunity to review the site. It's only going to be the, our consultant that gets to review the site or look at this.
That's the peer review.
Yeah.
Okay, the motion is to close the public hearing.
I understand.
Okay, so you're abstaining?
Yes.
Okay. Katie Grace?
Aye.
Okay. Public hearing's closed. Did you want to take a moment to review the information? Or do you thought that?
Do you think we need a site walk?
I would have expected we were going to go for a site walk, yeah, but,
Well,
you
we're
know,
gonna go
obviously.
Saturday already. We could
I would be happy to attend a site walk.
probably knock out 2.
Yeah.
That works for you guys.
I might be unavailable, but available.
I guess I'm a little
Well,
confused if, sorry.
That's okay.
Me too.
The public hearing's closed, so be very careful. The motion passed. So I think that it's okay if we go to do the site walk on Saturday morning after the other one. And if there's any questions, there could be a plan change with a revised plan date. But I think that I should call the vote and make it contingent or conditionally on the site walk. Review of the flags in the field.
We would certainly appreciate that.
Because we're not releasing the order, we've conditioned things previously, or we've made
an ANRAD.
contingencies. Right. And it's reviewed, there's no proposed activities yet. We would get an additional look at the property. And Art really didn't come back with any significant differences, and he's been our consultant. He's a PWS. I think the town's used him for many years. Board?
Yeah, I mean,
Any
I'm not
objection?
trying to say that our peer review consultant has done anything wrong, or that we're going to see anything differently than what he saw. I kind of thought that the typical process was for us to have an understanding of the site and a review of the site before
Yeah.
we move forward with closing a public hearing, and it seemed like it was just going right into close of the public hearing tonight. That's why I just,
No one.
I was surprised.
Well, no, there was a summary and no one called for a request for a site walk the last
No,
meeting.
we really should have done it last meeting, I agree, but
So I don't see, there's not any discrepancies. Closing the public hearing, we can't accept any new information, but we could request a revision, or we could request some additional information from Art, I guess, as our consultant, but I don't think, I wouldn't say that we could hold the ORAD until the site walk and have Steve hold it. I mean, it's not even prepared yet, so it's not ready for signature. Oh, it is?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big site. We're not going to be able to review the whole thing and look at all the flags like the peer consultant has. I mean, I understand that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong in abstaining, and if you feel
No.
it should continue to move on, I'm willing to do that.
No, I don't think you're wrong with your hesitation. I just think if maybe we should have a policy that says if we think that we want to go to the site, or maybe every single site, we set up a site walk on the first public hearing.
Right, we
Because we
should
didn't
make
even
it-
have a DEP number till today. so.
Correct. We should be making the decision to not have a site walk rather than to have, like, we should assume that we're going to do a site walk unless we decide, hey, this is all, we're all good and we don't need to.
Yeah. And
No, because that way we can get it done earlier in the process.
And I think this letter from Art, and he did get it back to us today, and confirming that all the comments were properly addressed and the plan set was revised. I think that's a reasonable, if you wanted to leave it open-ended and go and see the site with Steve after the 9 o'clock. And then if there's any questions, of course, we can ask Steve and Art before we release the ORAD.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so,
What's the DEP number on this one?
it is,
I have it here.
okay.
143-1047.
Oh, that was the, sorry, yeah, Art, that was,
I got that for 80 Locust Street.
so 80 Locust, Steve, we need that DEP number. I would
Yeah,
say
that's
it's,
not what that is.
They can't be both.
or I can just
It
look it
can't
up.
be both.
My phone go.
Are you suggesting that DEP may have did something
No.
wrong?
No,
No,
No, I think
it was
we're
me.
suggesting that we would have done something wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Nope, 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 they're great, we love them, don't say that.
You have to say that, I know.
No, I do, I mean that. It is, so 80
Sorry about that.
Locust was 1046.
1046 for 80 Locust Street.
Sorry.
Okay, and then
My
this is
bad.
1047.
Oh, then I changed my mind.
Oh, yeah, no, that makes a huge difference now. The wrong DP number. And no, that was, oh, it's right here.
Okay. So I think we condition, since the flag should still be up.
Absolutely.
From the last time that you guys were out there. If we follow our 9 AM site walk, the site walk, you good with that? To be on the property, allowing us to be on the property?
It's not my property yet, so
Oh,
I
okay.
can't say.
Well, the application is applied for, so,
Yeah, the owners have
Okay.
signed, so.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, as
All
long as
right,
that
just
gives-
give them a heads up that there may be some people reviewing the flags
Yeah.
again on Saturday.
I can't be there, but
I can be there if I need to.
Yeah, it would be good to have someone guide us.
Okay,
What
yeah,
time do you think that would occur?
Probably like 10 o'clock.
yeah, 10 to 10:30.
Between 10 and 10:30, yeah, it may take us.
To
a little-
start at 10:30.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're going to the other project
The other
first.
one's a pretty big site as well.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to issue the ORAD with a contingency that we complete the site walk before Steve releases the documents to the applicant.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Eric. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monson, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
We appreciate
See you
you working
Saturday.
with us.
thank you.
Okay.
I just grabbed that packet there, that's my copy.
And Steve, anything else?
No, but 148 Shore Road, I did do some couple perpetuity conditions. I'm not sure if people saw those or not. That was acceptable. I got them from the MACC handbook too. I try to give what the commission was looking for, hopefully.
Okay, one other item, not reasonably anticipated. So we can check on those, that condition, and then 3 people are up for reappointments. So we have to make a motion for a favorable recommendation to the Board of Selectmen for reappointments of Eric Harris, Art Monamy, and Mark Mungem.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion?
I move to recommend for reappointment Eric Harris, Art Montminy, and Mark Mungem.
Second.
Motion.
I'm debating, to tell you the truth. I'm having,
We're making a favorable recommendation, then they'll call you.
We're not forcing
They
you
will
to do
call-
anything.
they sent me a letter the other day.
Yeah, so they'll call you for a meeting, if you would like to attend the meeting, and then they would make the appointments. And we really appreciate your time on the board. If you could come half the time, that would be great, too.
No, I want to come all the time, it's how late I can stay.
Okay.
I have a family obligation now that I didn't have when I got on.
Yeah.
It's become more difficult.
Should I move the time of the meeting?
No. But my situation may be changing.
Thanks.
Okay.
He's kind of regressing pretty quickly.
Okay.
So I don't think things are going to be able to stay the same for long, but if they do, I got to be, it's my obligation, it's not my wife's, it's my
Yep.
job, you know.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. We understand.
So
Okay.
I'm going to have a talk with them about it before I answer the letter from the select.
Okay. So the motion is on the floor. I think Mike seconded it. Did you second? Katie Grace's motion?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Montminy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. So Steve, if you could send that along for the reappointments, that would be wonderful. And we'll just double check that condition. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Art. Second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Montminy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Thank you.
Did you